Hi, everyone. I'm Nicholas Tutora. Welcome to Tutora Time. So Merrick Garland is having his hearings to be Attorney General, and if you've watched any of it, you're probably as frightened as I am. Garland really is refusing to answer very key questions about enforcement of border policy and what the definition of the left's new catchphrase, domestic violent extremists, means. Well, I'll tell you what it means. It means anything that they say it means. So we're at a very scary tipping point in America.
Do you believe that illegal entry at America's border should remain a crime?
I haven't thought about that question. I just haven't thought about that question.
What do you mean, Merrick, that you haven't thought about that question? It's only one of the most fundamental questions of your job as Attorney General. It looks like the dirty cops are now in control.
Will you continue to prosecute on unlawful border crossings?
We will. I have to admit, I just don't know exactly what the conditions are and how this is done. If they're so, I think.
But Garland, Merrick Garland, as you could see, he's geared up to allow people to cross the border, to stop making illegal border crossing a crime. He refuses to answer questions on that. I believe there's going to be some very radical laws that are going to be passed. Soon they're going to start making their social agenda into actual law. And they're going to start prosecuting people for things like thought crimes, for what your belief system is. We are on a very dangerous step.
When you refer to systemic racism, what is that?
I think it is plain to me that there is discrimination and widespread disparate treatment of communities of color and other ethnic minorities in this country.
So you're basically saying there's a disparate impact.
Unconscious bias and some kind conscious.
How do you know what you know? In other words, you say an institution is systemically racist. Do you measure it by a disparate impact, controlling you for other factors?
And looking into any individual's heart is not something we can do.
Who bears the burden of proving that? The institution?
No. Like as in all matters of law, the burden is on the investigator to prove.
So there you go, folks. They will be looking into institutions to find proof of institutional and systemic racism. Again, that means whatever they say it means.
What's the difference, though, between people who are racist and an institution that's racist?
Now we do have a cosmic question.
I want to ask you about this concept of implicit bias. Does that mean I'm a racist no matter what I do or what I think? I'm a racist, but I don't know I'm a racist?
This just means that every human being has biases. That's part of what it means to be a human being. And the point of examining our implicit biases is to bring our conscious mind up to our unconscious mind.
Their idea of implicit bias doesn't necessarily hold true. You don't necessarily have to agree with that vague and lame hypothesis. And this is what they're going to base prosecution on, the theories of frustrated, unintelligent sociology professors looking to cash in on a book deal.
No.
Who judges that? Doesn't the person judging me have his own implicit bias? How do I know his implicit bias isn't worse than my implicit bias?
Last night on Tucker Carlson's show, there was an interesting interview with Naomi Wolf. She's actually on the left. She's a third wave feminist, so there wouldn't be usually much agreement between her and the conservatives on anything. But this woman has actually spent her life studying totalitarian and authoritarian governments and how they are established. And she sees that we have hit the 10th step of establishing a totalitarian government.
What I see as the terrible crisis that we're in that we have to recognize under the guise of a real medical pandemic, we're really moving into a coup situation, a police state situation, and that's not a partisan thing. I wrote a book in which I pointed out there were 10 steps that would-be tyrants always take when they want to close down a democracy, whether they're on the left or the right. They always do the same 10 things, and now we're at something I never thought I'd see in my lifetime. You described it really, really well. It is step 10, and that's the suspension of the rule of law. That's when you start to be a police state, and we're here. There's no way around it.
They have stripped us of our freedom of assembly. They're stripping us of our freedom of speech. They've stripped us of our freedom of worship. All of these things under COVID lockdowns. This is their cover story. So they've got two covers going on at the same time. They've got the COVID pandemic, lockdowns and regulations that they're using, and they also have their agenda of systemic racism and all the negative things they're saying now about white people. They are looking to transform this country. They are turning it into a police state right before our eyes. What we can do right now is to keep speaking out, and we're gonna have to start practicing nonviolent resistance the way that Gandhi talked about and the way Gandhi did. We're going to need to refuse to cooperate with their mandates that they put out and their restrictions on speech. You could see exactly what the left is doing. They are allowing and encouraging more illegal immigration into the country, granting these people rights, granting them health care, granting them education, where at the same time, American children are not going to school and our free speech is being suppressed and our rights are being stripped away from us. They want to do away with borders. Barack Obama spoke about this a long time ago, that his idea of nationalism in America should just be some watered down kind of version, like, apple pie and hot dogs on the 4th of July. Well, it won't even be the 4th of July anymore. They'll pick some other woke holiday. But other than that, the world should basically be the same all over. I don't know how the young people in this world are falling for this. Young people, wake up. Your individuality and your freedom is being stripped away from you. Why do you want to buy into groupthink when you're free to live as an individual and express yourself? This has always been the hallmark of America. So stand up for your rights, people. If America dies, the world is a dark place. There won't be freedom on the globe for another 200 to 500 years. It'll take that long to repair the damage, if it can ever be repaired. I'm Nicholas Tutora, and I'll talk to you again soon on Tutora Time. Hi, everyone. It's Nicholas Tutora. Now more than ever, it's so important to keep free speech alive. So make sure you click the subscribe button so you can stay part of our conversation.